I could be feeling better.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of energy and effort into these elections. We were happy and proud of the input that our members have put into these elections. And so we expected results to be much better than we are seeing now. But our only hope is the fact that metros have not been done yet.
Right.
And KZN, where we also had a very strong effort, we only have 48% of the districts whose votes have come in. So we are really hoping that the situation is going to turn around and that we'll see a better performance than we are seeing now.
Yeah. The ACDP at 9th position currently on the national results leaderboard. I've got 0.61%. Your final result for 2019 for the National Assembly was 0.84%. I'm not sure what that translates to into the number of votes, but if the result does stay this way, it would signal almost a quarter or more than a quarter of the support the ACDP had in 2019 in a decline.
Yeah, but fortunately the results will not stay this way because we have done well in Western Cape and KZN and Gauteng, those three in particular, because the metros are not yet completed yet. I'm sure that the percentage is definitely going to improve.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Western Cape for the ACDP. We've got 1.2% for the ACDP in the Western Cape. You're in a position after Al-Jamar, pretty close together. Al-Jamar's got 1.4%, 76% of the vote in the Western Cape has been declared. Would that also signal for you a decline in your vote as leader of the ACDP? And I wonder, Reverend Kenneth Meshoe, whether the issue of Israel and South Africa's approach to the ICJ on the Gaza Strip and allegations of genocide taking place there, and the government's really strong stance on what's happening in Gaza, whether that has anything to do with your result in the Western Cape?
Some people suggest that, but I'm not convinced that that is the case. And if that be the case, we are a principled organization. We will not change our principles because of a decline in voter confidence. Because when a person has a principle, if it's a principle has to be defended at all costs. And we believe that if we change for the sake of getting more votes, because of what people are alleging, then we'll be betraying our own consciences and the voters who sent us to Parliament.
What is the principle that you're banking on insofar as the Israel-Gaza issue is concerned?
Everybody has the right to live, number one. And number two, every nation has the right to exist. Now, when you have people like Hamas saying Israel must be removed from the face of the earth, that means destroying everybody and all Jews. And we don't think it is correct because of political differences to want to remove some people from the face of the earth. I think people have to grow up, people have to mature and accept that in some cases we have to agree to disagree. Yeah. And that's our position. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you start from the position of everyone has the right to live and everyone has the right to self-determination. But certainly the actions of the Israeli state tell the story of what you're saying Hamas's intentions are, right? The actions of the Israeli state tell the story of wanting to remove the Palestinians from this tiny piece of land they occupy on the Gaza Strip. It's the most populated part of the world. What do you say to that? That their actions speak louder than any other words that have been said?
No, if a person commits a crime against you and they hide, and while they're hiding they stay, if they get another opportunity, they will repeat what they did to you. They will kill your children, they will rape your women if they find another opportunity. I don't think that is fair. So that is what I've been told by the local Jews here, that Hamas has said it repeatedly, And some of them say our hearts are paining because we've lost loved ones. We have lost wives, we have lost cousins. So it's a very painful thing. It's not an easy thing. And I think if pressure would be placed on Hamas to say allow everybody to exist, even though you don't agree with them, things would not be the way they are right now. And I don't hear voices. I don't hear any voice actually that says allow them to exist even though you don't agree with them. I don't agree with everything that state does. I don't agree with everything. And yet they have the right to exist. That's my strong point, and ACDP point. Everybody has the right to exist. Some people don't like Russians, okay, but do they have the right to exist? Yes, they have the right to exist. So I think as human beings, we must accept the fact that it is okay to agree to disagree.
It is. But perhaps the reason why we don't hear those voices is because they've all been killed in the Gaza Strip, 36,000 of them, mostly women and children. I'm not sure what that has to do with Hamas. But let's get back to South Africa, Reverend Kenneth Meshoe. What do you propose, before we get to what you see insofar as coalitions are concerned and the future of governance in South Africa, talk to us about MK and whether you're surprised by the showing that the Umkhonto we Sizwe party has given us these elections.
I am not surprised, to be honest with you. Firstly, former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, has a following in the country. Many people like him in the country. So the fact that he put his weight behind MK has definitely assisted them increasing their numbers and their performance. But secondly, there are many disgruntled ANC. And if you listen well to what JZ has been saying, they're talking about ANC of Ramaphosa. They want the real ANC, So many of those who believe that what we are seeing is the ANC of Ramaphosa and they like ANC, they want to see the true ANC and not the ANC of Ramaphosa. So it is not surprising that so many people have followed him and they've done so well because people want to restore their ANC as they know it.
But the third place in the National Results Board, third place? Surely that's unexpected?
Well, I mean, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. And it shows how serious the ANC members are in restoring the image of their ANC. Because What
do you want to see? I've asked the ANC itself what its plans are insofar as coalition talks are. Gwede Mantashe holding his cards very close to his chest. But what would you like to see if indeed the ACDP does manage to get a seat in Parliament? What would you like to see in terms of coalitions?
The multi-party charter would have been my first preference and choice. Because you have people that you have spoken, discussed matters with, and people who are not accused of the level of corruption that the ANC is accused of. And we will see people within the ANC, we know them, who have been accused, and yet there's been no consequences. So we would want to see if the ANC does go into a coalition, that whoever goes there should not think first about their stomachs, they must think about the people on the ground. If they go in there with the ANC into coalition, they must say we want to improve service delivery. Because the most important thing is for people on the ground to get services. What we have experienced the past 30 days is not fair. Okay? People have laid down their lives, people have died, people have suffered to improve access to services for South Africans. And in a number of places, it is not happening. One of the most heartbreaking things is to see people who are still having no access to clean drinking water. You see cattle standing in rivers while people at the same time are drawing water from the same water. I mean, if you talk about democracy and freedom, that's not the kind of democracy that people fought for.
Certainly.
And it's not the kind of freedom they want. We want access to clean drinking water for everybody. So whoever goes into alliance with the ANC must go there with that mentality. I'm not going there to eat, but I want my people to get better services.
And will the multi-party charter of South Africa go into alliance with the ANC?
Well, I won't speak for other political parties.
Yeah.
Okay, I know some that say they will not, like us. The ACDP also not going to the alliance with the ANC.
All right, Kenneth Meshoe is the leader of the ACDP, joining us here at our live position at the Results Operations Center, the nerve center of the IEC. I heard the gong go off just a short while ago. I'm not sure what it means, but what it means particularly, but what it will mean is that something has changed somewhat on the leaderboard.